Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of 1,
2
Extra. The question of today is, who was the best or the worst signing in the January transfer window?
Oh god, there's so many to pick from. I am going to give a quick shout out because I feel like, although not many people will know it if you're not old enough, to Christophe Dugarry, who signed for Birmingham in January 2003 and scored goals to help them stay up. And he was a World Cup winner, Confederation Cup winner, and Euro winner.
It's Matt's fact of the
day. To go to Birmingham, yeah.
And onto your argument.
Pretty incredible. However, my signing of the January transfer window has to be Nemanja Vidic.
Okay.
2006, signed January transfer window, 8 years at United, 15 trophies. There's not really much to say. Struck up with Ferdinand, one of the deadliest partnerships. And the only downside was them red cards against Liverpool. But apart from that, yeah, Vidic, just unbelievable.
Well, I'm going to stick with Man United and go with Patrice Evra, who they signed for 5.5 million as a left back. And if you know how current football is, considering that Kyle Walker went for 50 million and Mendy went for 54 million, it gets even more ridiculous. So for Man U to have found Evra from Monaco for 5.5 million, even back then that was still quite cheap, is a situation where Evra went on to win everything that Vidic did basically. And I think it's harder to find a really good left back, so that's why I think Patrice Evra was actually a better signing than Vidic. Because he also got assists, whereas Vidic didn't get assists.
Vidic did score some meaty goals though.
Evra scored some goals too.
Not as many as Vidic. I also think,
value for money.
Do we remember Evra's debut?
You don't need to.
2 days later, Man City got taken off at half time because he was that bad.
Yeah, but he went on to be amazing.
To do well, yeah,
exactly.
That's
so it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Vidic for the
much
partnership.
Like this episode, Matt started, but I'm finishing. So 5.5 million, keep that in your mind. And think about today's money. He'd be worth ridiculous amounts of money.
I think Vidic was about 8 million though. Well, Spartak Moscow.
Still more than 5.5. Like, even by maths, poor Matt, is simply, I win.
Vidic.
Either way.
Vidic was the guy.
Yeah, but they're both the guy. But I think it's hard to find a good left back. That's what I'm going to go with my argument. Anyway, Matt, who's your worst signing?
My worst, because of the money. Oh fuck, there's two that are so terrible, but it has to be Fernando Torres. Okay. 50 million Chelsea spent, and I think he scored 2 goals the rest of that season. Granted, he was doing well at Liverpool, but 50 million on the striker who was so unbelievably shit.
And I would say my answer is Kim Källström, who Arsenal fans will know that we signed as the Swedish midfielder in January 2014, and he had a broken back. Only Arsenal would sign someone with a broken back.
Right, how did he pass the medical?
I literally just read about how he went for the medical a few hours before the transfer window closed. They did the scan, they revealed he had like 3 broken vertebrae in his spine, and Wenger sat next to him and he said, look, there's not enough time for us to sign anyone else. We either take you or we take no one. So they said, actually, you can stay and train, we'll see what happens, and that's how he happened.
Did he ever play?
He did, he played in the semi-final and he scored a winning penalty kick against Wigan, which got us to the final, which we won, because we're the boss. But this is why he's worse than Torres. Torres actually scored against Barcelona in the semi-final of the Champions League, which meant that Chelsea got to go to the final of Champions League, in which they won. So Torres actually scored important goals, and he scored in the Europa final. So I'm sure every single Chelsea fan knows that even though Torres cost basically more than £1 million per goal, at least 2 of those goals
that's all it is. You've just helped me.
They were worth £1 million.
You've just made their decision for them.
Champions League final winner and Europa League final winner. Yeah, because
you know what the thing is though about Kim Källström? It wasn't even his fault. He was injured. It wasn't even his fault. If anything, it was stupid from Arsenal.
That's a terrible signing. Like Champions League,
yeah,
FA
but
Cup.
He's injured.
Champions League, FA Cup. I'm
Fernando
sure every
Torres,
Arsenal fan would want the Champions League
to spend 50 million, and he turned out to be shit.
It turns out that you winning the Europa League and winning the Champions League cost you 50 million. Arsenal won the FA Cup.
Didn't really do much.
Arsenal were good at penalties. Anyone could have taken that penalty. I could have taken that penalty. So that's why I think Kim Källström is the worst signing that's ever made in the January transfer window.
I've never seen
you 4 games.
I've never seen you so adamantly go against an Arsenal player.
Well, either way, he was a bad signing. Arsenal makes a lot of bad signings. So the best signing is Patrice Evra, simply because he only cost 5.5 million, went on to win 5 Premier League titles and the Champions League. The worst signing is Kim Källström. What's your takeaway for 30 seconds?
It's Vidic. Vidic is the best signing in the January transfer window, and Torres is by far the worst, although shout out to Andy Carroll as well, for going to Liverpool for 35 million and doing fuck all.
Andy Carroll is up there. Andy Carroll is up there because he didn't win anything. But Torres did win the Champions League and the Europa League. So
50 million.
Kim Kelshin only won the FA Cup. And I don't think he played in the final, so it doesn't even count. So who do you think won? Remember, all you need to do is vote in the corner of the box to decide whether it's Matt or Antoine, i.e. me, who won this day. And we want to see the comments as well. Let us know the question that you think we should answer next week. Make sure it's a really good one, and we'll speak to you soon. Peace. So everyone, welcome to another episode of 1, 2. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of 1. You're supposed to say 2. Oh. 2 extra. I
thought you'd be 1, 2.
Another episode of 1, 2 extra.
Okay, let's do it again. Okay, cut.